live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's another episode of Venture Maidens. Oh my gosh, we're 31. We're back, episode 31. Hot dang. It's good. I've got a good feeling about this episode. Ooh, yeah. I think Sage, you're muted, but we saw it. Yeah, I know. We're here. We're gonna stop some evil. You know, we're gonna do it. We're fighting evil by moonlight. It'll be amazing. Good. I'm glad you all feel good. Oh, Sage, are you still muted? I'm sorry.
No.
You're still muted. Oh no.
I was just mouthing words, but when you said fighting evil by moonlight, I mouthed literally.
It's happening. It's the truth. Yay, good. Well, I'm not gonna dilly-dally too much because we got some shit to do. We got some shit to fight, everyone. So, hey, everybody, welcome. This is Venture Maidens. We're an actual play D&D 5th edition podcast stream that converts to a podcast. We should warn you before we dive in that this show is a very adult-themed stream show, so you can expect, some darker themes. In general, we keep like a body horror content warning up, just because of fantasy violence. We also, for this episode, specifically this arc, we've had some specific content warnings, including drowning, suffocation, that sort of thing. So if that is a trigger for you, this may not be the episode for you to watch or listen to. But with that, let's go ahead. Let's dive in. Hey, everybody. My name is Celeste Conowitch, and tonight I will be your dungeon master.
Hello, I'm Katie, and I'm going to be playing Laveri Sath, your drow rogue.
Hello, I'm Nassim Etamad, and I'm playing your half-orc fighter, Fitonia Silvertail. Call me Tony.
Tony. Wink.
And I am Sage, and I'll be playing your beatific bard, Aoife Flannery.
Ooh, beatific. I like it. Is that it? Is that everyone? There's only three of us.
We did it.
We're done.
Oh, man, just so you all know, I don't even have an alcohol yet. I have a tea because I need caffeine to get through what's about to happen. So, boy, oh boy. All right, I'm focused. I'm ready. 31. Yes, let's do it. So obviously, we have to do a bit of a recap before we dive in. We have been doing a super fun little like Monster of the Week style mystery arc for the last few episodes. So we have a bunch of pieces that are coming together, and we made a plan at the end of last time. So let's go ahead, though, and do that recap right now. Why don't you all tell me what happened last time on Venture Maidens?
Oh, we got to learn the spicy origin for what this fae actually is and how it came into being, and we learned the connection to Tony's family. Tony's uncle, Lori, had been involved in an affair with the deceased sister Mina, back when he was setting together this arrangement for Mina and his son Enzo to be getting married. And so Tony had interrogated him, found out the hard news that, the night that Lori and Mina had met to break it off, to get closure, when he arrived, he had seen that she had, fallen to her death on the rocks and just left her body in the water.
Yeah, hard truths were learned. Our family was shaken, but we returned with the information to the rest of the maidens and gave it to our friend, Cassie.
Yeah.
And she determined that the creature was most likely did I write it down?
Mare.
A mare. M-A-R-E. Mare.
A mare.
Yeah. Yeah, so you had to kind of put all the pieces together. Basically, we had done a scene where, and this was actually just before you went and interrogated the uncle. You basically put all the pieces together of like what you had learned so far about this creature and gathered the clues. And you had gathered enough clues on my checklist that Cassie was able to successfully identify what this thing was. The mare. What do you remember about this creature?
It's a creature that typically is created when an unmarried woman dies and has been wronged in some way, I believe. And then her spirit goes and can inhabit the body of another unmarried woman to exact her revenge. And she typically will ride these, the man in particular, or, just in general, other unmarried men, and kind of like suck their life force out of them. And so we basically are running out of time where we have to kill this mare before she like fully sucks the life out of Enzo, and we need to be able to trap it first and foremost. We need to be able to like force it out of Raina's body. Thank you. First, and then once it's outside of the body, we have to kill it. Otherwise, we would end up killing Mina, or we would end up killing Raina as well as Mina, who's become this mare.
And we're planning on using my uncle, who is willing and, very
sorry,
regretful and sorry
about everything
of his actions. Yes, so he's gonna willfully help us as like bait to lure this thing out.
Using one of the letters that they had written back and forth, one of their final letters, to hopefully coax this thing out of her by eliciting those memories of their final goodbye. And because not only do we have to trap it in a room, lure it out of Raina's body, trap it in a room, weaken it enough, we also then have to figure out what exactly it wants, what will allow this spirit to sort of rest, what will allow the creature to feel satisfied in having gotten its revenge. Otherwise, it's just going to keep coming back. And so we're hoping, and we're surmising, that maybe having some closure with Tony's uncle Lori, about having that breakup, about having that conversation, about having that closure, that might be the thing that will help bring this creature to rest and stop haunting poor Raina and Enzo, and so that these two young kids can start their lives happily and marital bliss.
yeah, maybe so we can save the day. Good, great, yeah. So that's great. So let's go ahead and dive in. So at the very, very end, just to re-summarize again what we had talked about last time. So the plan is, one, you needed a way to lure the mare out. And the problem with that being that Raina herself is like, the mare is kind of hiding inside of Raina. So the mare actually decides when Raina transforms into this thing. So that's the first problem. Yeah, getting the mare to basically take over. So you need to get Raina isolated somewhere alone. And yes, the plan was to have Lori there and use his past love letters basically to get this thing to come out. The second task ahead of you was to make sure that it is trapped in one place, because as you have learned, this thing can turn into mist and get through all kinds of cracks, crevices, and seems to have a lot of fey power just to be able to get away. So you determined that there were some of these herbs that have been known to help prevent like the mare from entering a house. So Tony kind of reversed engineered that with Cassie to be able to like use the herbs to seal up a room, basically. So you can get Raina in there, force her to transform in this specially prepared room, and you have decided to use the cabin that is in the middle of like the lake that Lily Hall is named after.
Correct.
Yeah. And also this cabin, as a note too, to help further encourage this thing to come out, was where Mina and Lori had their illicit meetings. And also very close to where Mina died, because she was traveling out to this island when it happened. And then step 3 was basically, you're going to have to fight this thing until it is weak enough that it separates itself from Raina. And once it is out of her, then we go to step 4, which is trying to get this thing to be laid to rest, giving it some kind of satisfaction. So, yes. So I think the plan was that you already...
Good reminder.
Yes. I wanted to lay that out.
Yeah.
And then, so I believe at the very end, we had talked about, so you had talked to Sten, and this has all happened very quickly. Sten had basically given an excuse, and talked to Raina, so you could get Raina out to go to the island with you in the middle of the night, because you are doing this at nighttime, which is when the Mare can only come out at night. So in tomorrow morning, by the way, is supposed to be the start of the festival. Hundreds of Eldrin are going to be showing up, a bunch of people, so you got to get this done tonight. Otherwise, the wedding tomorrow and the festival tomorrow are in dire straits. So it is nighttime. You've rowed out to the island with both Lori and Raina, and you are preparing the room for this thing that is about to happen. So we have some other decisions we need to make too, namely about how you guys want to stage this, set this up. In particular, any kind of resources that you want to make sure you have or don't have. As a reminder, I mean, you're out in a little lake area on this island is going to be where this is happening, but there are already dozens and dozens and dozens of Eldrin, just on the other side of the shore, setting up for this festival and stuff. So there are a lot of people here, which means potentially if anything goes wrong, there are a lot of people that could get very hurt. So what are you doing to, I suppose, ensure that the action stays here, and then also you don't attract attention to yourself? Or is that not something you're concerned about?
I think since we knew that we were coming here and we had all that time to prepare the herbs and everything, I realized we're not going to do a perfect seal along the edge of the island and everything, but just something that would discourage it from going towards there, if we have any extra herbs, scattering it upon that area. And then I think that it would also be pretty sick, since these people are fucking rich, if we encourage them to have some sort of attraction or a fireworks show or something on the opposite end of the grounds, so that people just are not over here.
Yeah. And because there are some guests now that have arrived and are setting up. So people who will be attending the festival, as well as a ton of, the performers and stuff. So yeah, I think that wouldn't be a terrible idea to get maybe a final dress rehearsal of maybe one of the acts or something. What would you like to set up? There's all kinds of money and resources there. And I think Sten would be more than happy to whisper in the right ears to make sure that happens. So, what's up? What's the cool attraction distracting everyone?
A drum line. Fireworks.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So it's a giant Eldrin marching band. It's like Stomp is just happening over there.
Oh, damn. Stomp is sick, though.
These really hunky Eldrin men are just...
all bare-chested, just oiled up, playing on drums.
Wait.
I love this.
Fuck yeah.
Amazing.
Where's Aoife? I can't
Aoife's gone. I disappeared. It's so weird. Amazing. Okay, cool. So there's going to be a big attraction that's directing most of the people over there. You do also have Cassie, and you have Rook as well, if you want anybody running defense or maybe guarding discouraging any people, because typically there are just boats here, so people might just take boats and come to the island. It's kind of open. Yeah,
keeping Cassie behind is a decent idea. I don't think she'll be of much service to us in there, now that we pretty much know what to do.
Yeah,
definitely. And Rook can give a very stern, this island is off limits for a private event.
Yeah, she's definitely bodyguard energy. Yeah, you put her up there with an earpiece. She'll scare the shit out of anyone.
I think too, Cassie could probably help with the reinforcing of the deterrence and stuff, since we now know what her trade is, aside from just research. She probably...
What do you mean? You haven't talked to her about that.
Oh, I'm sure. But if we give her the herbs and we say, hey, scatter these because it will help with defenses, I think that she would probably do her best at the job.
Yeah. And if you, oh, just throwing my phone, excuse me. So yeah, if you I'm so angry by your good idea. So yeah, and when you talk to Cassie as well, she'd be like, oh yeah, of course. And, Rook, why don't we do this together? I know you're you're fond of watching people work, so perhaps that will be helpful. It's like her way of being like, I know Rook is keeping an eye on me, and she's trying to
extend an olive branch.
Yeah. She's like, okay, I know you're suspicious of me. Come work with me. It'll be fun. And Rook's like, but yes, they will go. So they will work together to ensure that nobody comes on the island, nobody goes near the water at all, and then hopefully that combined with the big show that is happening will distract most folks. All right. Anything else y'all want to make sure to do before you start this?
Oh, no, I don't think I really have anything that.
Yeah, any like boosting business.
I have a question for us. Are we telling Raina that this is the plan? We think you're possessed?
Yes.
Or are we going to spring that on her when she gets here? Or are we just going to start doing this thing and hope she doesn't object or run away? What are we feeling for that vibe?
She's...
Go ahead.
Now I'm thinking like she's also going to become made aware of the situation between... assuming she's awake and not passed out by then, to find out what Enzo did and kind of being possibly responsible for her death in some way. He's not responsible. I should take that back. But
so, and I will remind you as well. It's like, so when the Mare will show up, it actually like shape shifts. Like Raina's body will shape shift into the Mare. So or at least during that window, Raina probably won't. Well, you actually don't know. Raina hasn't seemed to remember anything. Like, she has these big gaps in her memory. So at least during that window, it's likely that Raina won't know what's going on. But before that, before the transformation, and then if you manage to separate the two, yes, then you will certainly have to worry about.
Yeah. That's just something that's going to be a nice moment, a nice...
That's going to be...
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's going to be shitty for everyone. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, last time our plan was to, like, basically trick her into thinking that she's going to the island for an event, like, for, like, a rehearsal dinner type thing, that we'd switch.
She is aware, though, of what's happening to people, right? She knows that Luca has been...
Yeah.
Okay.
She knows that but it's sort of the same way all the Eldrin have been, right? Like, there's something wrong, but we really don't want to admit this is how wrong it is, and we would like it to just go away. And they are throwing money at the problem by hiring all of you to solve it and not look too closely at it. So she, like her family, is in strict, polite denial. So they're being very British about the whole situation.
Okay. I think we probably break it to her when she's there to be like, okay, so the reason why there's not an after-dinner party here is because we're dealing with this problem that we're being paid to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. Cool. That works.
You're possessed by a fake creature that was made from your dead sister. Surprise! You know?
Come out to my wedding!
It's our present to you, an exorcism.
Don't worry about these daggers and that sword.
Nothing to see here. Hold these stinky herbs. You're fine. All right. So yes. So you get Raina to the island. Your plans fall into place. You can hear already from the far side of the estate, you know, the drum, the distant bass that is coming from somewhere far away. And you see some cursory bonfires being lit. Because remember, Oxia, this holiday, is all about kind of the change, you know, from summer to winter, and lots of bonfires, outdoor celebration. So a lot of that festive mood is starting to stir, even tonight, the night before the festival. So you make your way without any trouble to the island. And Lou, you've seen this place before, but you didn't go inside last time. But once again, the island is very small. It could maybe like 10 minutes to walk from one side of it to the other. It's mostly like a decorative kind of, you know, human-made or Eldred-made, I guess, island in the center of this lake. There are, on most sides of it, like 3/4 of it are kind of steep rocks that are just built out to the side and spiral sort of down into the water. So those rocks where Mina slipped when they were very wet once upon a time. And the rest of it is all like really well manicured, like trees and shrubbery and stuff. It's all just very beautiful. And crowning it at the very top is this cute cabin that is made out of those like, you know, painted white wood and this golden dome on the top of it. So it looks very cool and decorative from far away. The whole outside of this place is, you know, just lovingly like painted with little flowers and birds and all kinds of just cute shit. And right outside the cottage, you see there's like a little patio area of cobblestone and some benches and a little fountain that's been running, like a tiny wishing well. Obviously you never get water from it, but it's so cute. It's so cute. And there it is, this unlit cabin where so much happened. Just you all kind of approach it from the outside here. And at this point, I think Raina is going to look at all of you. So Tony, I'm assuming you're inside, right? Like actually finishing the herb blends and stuff. So she's going to look at you, Aoife, and Lou and go, sorry, can you just remind me why I'm out here again? I know Sten said you had something, but this all seems a little, and she's looking around and it's so dark out here and like she looks a little nervous.
Aoife will gesture for her to take the other side of Raina's arm and to, you know, do that very polite wrist and elbow grab and lead.
Okay.
So we've been tasked by Sten, and as a result by your parents, to deal with whatever's been disturbing the events of your wonderful wedding nuptials to come. We have found evidence that there's a fae attached to this and, you know, leading into the house.
Yeah, yeah. And as you step inside, Tony, where have you put, like, Lori in this room? So as a reminder, this is like a one room, sort of like a studio style, like, lodge. So you can see like a nice carved 4-poster like bed. It's all laid out still, like, again, I think I described like cute Airbnb in the woods. Like it's all very quaint and like ready, you know, untouched for guests. There's like a table, you know, 2 chairs and like a vanity and stuff like that. Where is he?
Mm-hmm. I would say I don't know. I thought I guess we should have talked about this first. Should we tie her up? Because then I would have her towards sort of the back of the room, seated and bound.
Okay. Yeah. And
where
do you want
that?
And yeah. Are you all okay with that? Yeah, that's for you.
Yeah, I feel like once we have this little conversation, we can sit her down, and I think that would be once we close off the entrance we came through. Then we can tell her what's going on and explain why we're binding her, since she's in a state where right now she is going to remember what we do to her.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So you step in and she's listening to you kind of describe what's going on, Aoife. And as soon as you step in, you know, she clocks Tony and then looks over and sees Lori there, because he's there, obviously, right, too. Lori? Oh, are you part of all this? And he just he's like sheepishly, I guess, sitting by the vanity. And he's got a box in front of him that he found earlier. And it's a box that seems to be hand carved with like all these like running motif of running horses on it. And you see he's been filing through these papers that were in the box, appear to be letters. He's been looking at them and looking them over, and he never looks like really happy, but he's been especially grim and silent while he's been doing this, while you've been setting up the room.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Raina. Thank you for coming. Sorry to disappoint you with the lack of a dinner ceremony of any kind, but Lori here is here to help us with something, as Aoife, sounds like she's filled you in a bit. Just like you're here to help us too. just for a little while. You can go back right after and continue getting ready for the wedding. But my Lori's gonna read you. Doesn't matter anymore, but Lori's gonna read you some letters, and we just want you to listen to them. But some things might happen because it's Fae shit. And Fae are fucking weird and deal with.
So you've decided to tell her that it's a Fae. This has something to do with a Fae.
Yeah, but I don't need to get into what kind of Fae or what it is. But it's just some ceremony that we think will help draw its attention. And for everyone's safety, we're gonna have you sit down for us, and we're gonna keep you bound to the chair.
Okay. Well, I suppose. And she looks like you up and down, Tony, in your armor and your weapons, and Lou, like, stacked up with knives. And Aoife, she looks at you suspiciously, like, what are you gonna do to me? But still, she's like, I clearly am in no position to object here, so okay. And she just sort of sits down in the chair, like, watching you all, and her eyes are like around the room. She seems to be looking, like, clocking windows, doors, anywhere potential escape. But she sits down.
Thank you so much. I know that was a very odd request, but I promise we're here to protect you and everyone at this wedding. So and then she's going to start.
Said that you all were here to help, and I believe him, even though this all seems a little strange.
The Fae are strange. Looking at Raina, does she look affected? Does she look like as, sunken and tired as Enzo does? Does she look any different than what we might expect?
No, she looks great. She's gorgeous. I mean, and you can tell she looks so much like a younger version of her mother. Like, it's so clear that, what she looks like. And she just, she's cute as hell. Like, you're like, oh, Tony, Enzo did good. Yeah, as she sits down. But nope, so no signs of tiredness or anything. So apparently the Mare hasn't been influencing her in any negative way.
Well, as you woke up on the shores of this very beach the other night, I can imagine that was very distressing. And maybe perhaps you don't remember it. I'm not sure. If you'd like to share, we'll be more than happy to listen. But this Fae, we think, is possessing you. And we want to ensure that we deal with it properly and once and for all.
Okay. All right, you all are the experts, I guess. Though I can tell you, I don't feel possessed, but I guess, do all possessed people say that? I really don't know. I'm sort of... Can we just get this done?
Fantastic. Let's go.
She's like, I would like to leave. Thank you. Let's go. Let's wrap it up. So she'll, so you're binding her to the chair?
Yes.
Okay, so she, reaches out her hands and is just like kind of trying not to...
They're going to be on the arms of the chair, and then her either leg to either leg of the chair.
Okay, yeah, so she sits down, and she's tied to the chair and is just looking at you all like you are mental.
You're doing great.
Perfect. You look great. Lori? You want to get started here? And I will take a position just in front of him, too. So he can, read over my shoulder.
Okay. Do I just start?
Yeah, I mean, why not? Let's go for it. Rip the Band-Aid off.
And he's, you can see his hands are shaking as he's holding, these packets of letters, and he kind of opens one up and takes a sort of a stuttering breath, and then he begins to read. And as he begins to read, you very quickly notice another sound that starts to come from outside. The pattering of rain against the panes of glass. All of a sudden, like a storm just rolled in. It was a beautiful, balmy night before that, but now there it is, rain, and there's a crack of thunder that comes from somewhere up above. As he reads, "My dearest, with each day that passes, my love for you grows, as does the pain of knowing we must soon part. You have your whole life ahead of you, and though you might disagree, I trust you will one day see the wisdom of my decision." And he's like reading and looking down at the paper, and then, he rubs out his eyes and looks up at Raina, just sitting in the chair, who is still just looking like trying to put the pieces of this together. And another peal of like thunder comes from outside, and you can see like the room is flash, like illuminated by lightning, as a full storm.
What was the weather like before?
It was beautiful.
What was the weather like before?
It was a beautiful, wonderful night before.
Okay.
This freak storm seems to have rolled in. And he clears his throat and continues. "So please, meet me in the usual place in 10 days' time, and let us say goodbye in grief, but not in anger. Until then, my darling." And he like crumples up the letter and puts it down. Should I read another?
Again. And Tony is just like staring down Raina just to see if any change is happening in her or around her. Because this weather is already
it's weird.
Significant enough to Tony. Yeah. So I'm just like, yes, do it again. And trying not to pay attention to the words he's saying.
Yeah. And he lets out like a kind of a heartbreaking sigh as he picks up another one and he begins to read once again. And Raina now is just looking at him. I think at this point she's hearing the words and she's trying to put together what's going on, what this is about. And as he continues to read the second letter and the storm outside worsens, you see her gaze starts to change. Something about her is different. And you all feel something in the room, like that feeling when you can tell somebody is looking at you, but you don't know where it's coming from. You all get that like weird feeling. And as Raina kind of looks down and then looks back up, you see her eyes, which were like these lavender color that matched her like powder lavender hair, are a bright shining blue as she stares. And Lori continues to read. And he gets through a second letter and kind of crumples it up and looks at you, Tony. Another
one, Lori.
And he pulls a third out of the box and begins to read. And at this point, you hear scraping against the ground as like the legs of the chair that Raina is in are like dragged, and you can see she's like rocking back and forth in the chair, like violently against her restraints, and seems to be like shaking her head, no, as she's listening. And Lori kind of gasps and then like looks up at her and like looks at you, Tony. And then seeing your gaze has not changed, continues to read. And then there's a burst of like mist that fills this room. All of you are suddenly, like, your vision is obscured by this, like, silvery fog that seems to have just filled, almost like dry ice, just, like, exploded in the room around you. And you hear, like, a low hissing sound that comes. And you see that this mist is, like, jams up against, like, the windows and tries to go for the doors. But as it encounters those lines of ground herbs you have left, the mist cannot escape. Let's go ahead and roll some initiative. Oh, shit.
Blue got us 15.
15.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Let's go. All right. 15 for Blue.
17 for Aoife.
17 for Aoife. Good job, Aoife.
7 for Tony.
7. Okay, 7.
The finisher.
7. Yeah, you're the closer, Tony. All right.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay. And Lori is just going to try to make himself very small in a corner during this fight. But if you want him to do anything, he will go at the top of the initiative order.
I was gonna ask, so can we say that there's like a closet adjacent to this room? Because Aoife's thinking as soon as this thing separates from Raina, the best thing to try and keep them safe is to like just shove them to closet, stay there while we fight this thing. So Aoife would be like, stay in here. When we hopefully get her separated, we're gonna throw her in here with you and just stay out of the way.
Yeah, for sure. And if you wanted to ahead of time, like, let's say there's one of those, like, giant, wardrobes, right? With, like, the 2-door things that they could definitely step up in. And if you wanted to, you could also ward that with the herbs as well. Mm. So if you did want to go ahead and shove Lori in there right now,
yeah,
the mayor couldn't get at him. Is that the plan?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, but as we begin, Lori is still here, standing next to you, Tony. Yep. And so this mist, like, explodes and goes across the room here, and you all kind of ready yourself for whatever is going to happen next. And as it starts to clear a little bit, and you see that the mist, like, you see almost like hands, like fingers, like, shaped out of the mist. It's trying to get out and around these doors. And in a second, like, as it seems to find it, there's no way out, all the mist pulls back into where that by where that chair was, and you see a very different creature standing there, not in the restraints, because by bursting apart into mist and coming back together, it seems to have just avoided that situation. You see a very, very tall and thin, emaciated, vaguely feminine creature, the thing that you saw in Cassie's book before, this woman with these gigantic, like, blue eyes, almost like owl eyes, staring out from, like, sunken, sallow skin, with these, like, blackened teeth and long ropes of hair that appears damp, just, like, stringed down her side. And she is, like, moving her head around. There's something almost like a bird about the way she's glancing around the room. And she stands probably 6.5, 7 feet tall, clearly much taller than Raina was. And she is letting out this low hissing sound this entire time. And she seems to make eye contact with Lori. Very intense eye contact. And we're right here in initiative as this happens. So Aoife, you have the first move. You were the first one to react here to all of this situation.
For sure. So with Aoife not being very combat oriented, she is going to use her action to take the help action to get Lori into that heckin' closet, and will spend her movement to do so and shove him in there for her turn.
Yeah, I will say yes. If you want to use your standard action to do that, just get him in there. Yeah, because it looks like this thing is about to eat his face, like 100%, and that's great. Why don't you take a point of inspiration, because you definitely just saved his life, because the mayor was going next. Woo! Woo! All right. So you you shove Lori in the closet, who stopped reading, like, despite being, Tony staring at him. He is just, like, mouth open, wide, terrified, looking at this thing that is just looking at him, staring into his soul. So you manage to shake him out of that and like push him in the closet and like slam the doors. And as you do so, this string of horrible fey curses begins to come out, like slithering out of the mouth of this thing. So Tony and Aoife, you would understand like these horrible words this thing is saying. Lou, you can tell they're horrible. Whatever she's saying is awful. You don't understand the words, but you're kind of glad you don't. Yes. Whoo.
Aoife shudders as she hears these string of curses come across her mind, and she looks to Tony and she says, with that recognition that Tony also understands, and she's like, all right, we've got this. And she'll give Tony a bardic inspiration. So get that D8 to spend on attack rolls, saving throws, or ability checks.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Your little felt thing in your pocket glows with the warmth of friendship.
And that will be her turn.
Yeah. Hell
Thank
yeah.
you.
Cool. And then I go. My turn. She didn't like that. Not one bit.
Oh no!
You took away her toy. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. Yeah. Can kiss. Cool. All right. So you see she's pissed, obviously, and she reaches up with her hands. You can see the fingers are just way too long, and you see like the black gnarled nails that look more like talons growing out of her hands, and she lunges towards you all with that horrible, like way too quick fey speed that you have now seen a couple times and still hate. The fast zombie vibes, as she is going to throw herself at. So let's see. It's a pretty small room, but Tony and Aoife, you would be standing very close together since that's where Lori was. So I think there's probably going to be one for each of you. She is bringing in these claw attacks. Ba-boom! Rolling initiative, rolling up. See. All right, Aoife. 24 to hit you. Yeah.
All right. As a reaction, she'll cast Silvery Barbs to make her re-roll that and take the result if it's lower.
Okay. All right. So I had 16 on the die. So, that is lower. So now it's a 15. The spell
That
worked.
still hits, but that's okay.
Oh, okay.
Damn it! I will never.
One of these days.
But she will use. She will give the Lou when she makes her next attack roll. She can make it with advantage. But sorry, so Aoife's gonna eat some damage.
That's okay. I can react and make a melee attack now.
Woo! I love this. I love these team reactions. Okay, cool. So go ahead and make your melee attack as a reaction. So there's like a blow trade. So technically, because yours would go off first. So as this thing is lunging at Aoife, go for it with advantage.
With advantage too.
Because of Silvery Bobs.
Or no, Lou's.
Oh, sorry,
Lou's getting advantage.
Okay, never mind.
Oh.
Never mind.
Okay, well I rolled a 17 plus 7, so 24.
Yes. And tell us now, because your sword is magic. Your sword is magic now because Lou got you a magic sword. So what does Clive, your sword, look like?
Yeah.
Now? What is the magic? How can we tell? It's a +1. Does it have a glow?
Magic?
Is it a color? What's up?
Yeah, it kind of like a weird green neon glow seems to come out from the edges, but it's not actually it's not really green. The sword isn't green. It's still the same color, but there's a green neon edge around it.
It has like an outline, so magic seems to radiate off,
nice.
like, reinforcing the edges of it.
Classy, not too much.
Not
cool.
too much.
Very cool. Yeah, so that, like, as you swing, and this is the first time you've used it too, since it was enchanted. So as you're swinging, maybe even you are a little bit surprised as your sword, like, lights up, almost with these, like, green sparks as you're bringing it down on this thing. And it totally does hit. So go ahead and roll me that damage.
Ooh, and I'm going to use that bardic inspiration along with that. That's that.
Oh, you can't use it for damage.
Oh, damn, I thought it was all the rolls. Okay.
Just D20 rolls.
Okay. Then I got 9 slashing. Or
Nice.
magic damage, I guess.
And did you add your +1 from your sword on that? Because so now you roll like just
Nope.
your sword's damage, and then you'd get your strength modifier, and you always get +1 now to damage because of your sword. It has a magic +1.
Oh, I did. I added that.
okay.
It's all together.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So in a very, very satisfying moment, you see, like, as you make contact with the flesh of this thing, and it spurts black water out of it like blood, you have the satisfaction of cutting into a fae, and it deals the full damage. It's amazing. Everything is wonderful. Hell yeah. You in
That's
business.
beautiful.
You in
We're
business,
growing
Tony.
up.
Oh, yes. So as this thing lunges towards Aoife, you see Aoife's spell go off, and this like almost like barbed wire of silver like shoots off, giving advantage on the spell, sending towards Lou, and then you manage to like get a swing in there, but you can't quite stop this thing as it is indeed still clawing at Aoife. So this thing rakes its like gross nails across your chest, and you are going to take. Doop-a-doop. Ooh, 11 slashing damage as this thing cuts ya. And then turning around, this thing very sharply twists its head towards you, Tony, since you have interrupted it, and it is like punching at you with another of these clawed hands. So to hit you, it's a 21.
Oh, yeah.
Faye on a mission.
A nice, good, clean hit.
Clean hit, a very palpable hit. All right, that is only 5 slashing damage, as she does manage to get you and claws like the space in between your armor at your neck. And then she looks at you and kind of she like twists her head to the side, and again that very weird like bird gesture, and you see one of her locks of hair that have been like kind of swinging back plastered to her body seems to like lift up of its own accord and like wraps like towards you, trying to go over around your neck as one of these locks.
Ugh.
Here we go.
Blech. It's just nasty.
Yeah.
Someone's wet hair choking me. Just gross.
Hate
It's
that.
gross enough when it's 2 feet away from me in the shower.
Like, I
don't
can't
even
even
touch
stand.
it.
Yeah, I can't even stand when my own hair is
Yeah.
wet and touching my neck.
No, and this is like undead sort of like wet drain hair. So like that's where we're at. Not even just normal hair. Okay,
Fuck,
but
I want to gag so hard.
ooh, true content warning, gross hair. All right, but that's only a 16. Is that gonna hit you?
Yeah.
A 16?
I'm still only a baby.
Oh, baby.
I'm still only a 5-level baby.
All right. Okay, then this hair is indeed.
And, I took that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You took that what?
When my shield got damaged before, I took a hit to my armor, my AC.
Yeah. Okay, here
Didn't
we
we
go.
get your shield replaced?
No, I'm pretty sure there was something else like in battle that like permanently damaged my armor class
You
for
would've
some
got,
reason.
You would have
I
got
thought
your
that we
shield.
got
what
you
it was.
a plain Jane shield back from Frida.
I think you do, but
I
but
did,
Clive
and
is
I
a-
have that there.
Okay. Oh. Then
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm just
Okay.
misremembering. But I
Well-
don't have my shield out, so with
Yeah,
my
you don't
shield
have it
out, it's 14. Because Clyde is a great sword.
Oh, so then you can't even have a shield right in your hand while you have Clive.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
two-handed weapon. Okay. Well then, so this hair slithers around your neck and pulls tight, and you can see this thing now has a grasp on you. So you are grappled. So while you are grappled, your speed is 0, so you're not going to be able to move away from her. That is I believe the only penalty you have for right now. Let me see. Just double check that. Yep. Speed becomes 0. Yes. So, also, so you know, on your turn, you can choose to use your standard action to escape a grapple if you wish. But that will take, like, your action. So instead of attacking, you could choose to do that. But for now, you're just grappled. And that is its turn. So, Lou, you see all of this happening. Aoife, you see your friend is now caught up in this nasty hair. But Lou, we come to you. What you doing?
Yeah, so I think as this creature is focused up on the two of them, she's going to run up behind it and grab it by the top of its nasty hair and pull its head back and try to slit its throat.
Ooh. All right.
With advantage.
Yes.
Which is good because one of those
Small
was a
space.
2. So that's going to be a 19 to hit.
Hell yeah, that'll do.
Dope. So that's going to be with my cold iron dagger. 5, 5, 10. 6 is 16 plus 1, 17 points of piercing damage.
Ow! Not magical. Oh no,
but with cold iron.
Then it will function as normal. Wonderful. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. Owie. Okay, yeah, so you do that. You run over and you like throw her head back, and try to slash at her throat. And as you do, you see that again, a spray of black brackish water spray out where like a normal mortal creature would be red with blood. And as you do it, she gasps and makes this horrible rasping sound. But you can see, it starts to just like knit itself back together a bit in that weird way, like the Fae do. So you've damaged her, but that was by no means like a killing blow. But hell yeah, good damage.
Gotcha. And then for my bonus action, I'm going to use my offhand weapon and I'm going to try to cut the hair that's holding Tony.
Groovy. Roll to hit.
Thanks, Goyle.
Yeah, let's see if I actually hit because that wasn't that good. That is a 13 to hit.
Yes. So you bring down your weapon like on this hair, gonna cut through it. This knife should totally cut through it. No worries. But it's like almost like steel cables as you try to cut through it, and your knife like bounces off of it. And your blow just was not hard enough to get through this. Whatever the hell this hair is made of. It's Faye-ass hair.
Girl, what shampoo you using?
Damn, this weave, though. It's like, it's made of steel.
Hatred does good things to her hair.
Yeah, yeah. I had to look good to take my vengeance, so, whatever. So you are unfortunately unable to affect it this turn. Anything else for you?
Nope, that's my turn.
Groovy. All right. Then that brings us down now to Tony. You got some nice wet hair around your neck. That's happening.
We're gonna take that on. That can't be happening anymore.
Okay.
She's gonna die just from being grossed out.
Mm-hmm. So are you trying to escape from the grapple, or are you attacking the hair?
Yes.
Okay. Escape from the grapple.
Yeah.
So
escape from the grapple.
So that will be an athletics check. So you're going to go ahead and roll a d20 and then add your athletics skill to escape the grapple.
And now I'll use my bardic inspiration.
Or you can choose to use your acrobatics.
Since you're using it on a...
But I suspect athletics is
better. And since you're using the... Yeah. And since you're using the bardic inspiration on an ability check, you can roll the d8 twice and pick which result you would like to use.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So for her little moat of potential.
Bard shit.
This is going to be stunning because I've already got a dirty 20 now. Oh, and then I rolled a 7.
Ooh.
And then an 8.
Yeah. Ooh, yes. Shit, yeah.
What is that? Like a 32?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Let's go.
A lot. So yeah, how do you escape from this grapple? How do you get your way out of the hair?
I want to say like I use it as like leverage to run up the side of the wall and then like twist to the other side. Cool. And like it's like I twist the arm of the hair and I come out of it.
Cool.
It unravels around my neck.
I like it. That's cool. Take some inspiration.
Yeah.
Take a point of inspiration. That was cool shit. Ninja shit.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Cool as hell. So that is good. You are now free. So that was your standard action. But do you have a bonus action you would like to use? You could assume your stance, or if you want to move, or... Luckily, everybody is very close to you and will be very close during this fight, so...
Yeah, because I'm still by Aoife, so I'll stick
By
by
everyone.
Aoife and like take my defensive stance.
Okay. All right. So use your bonus action to take your defensive stance, and then can you remind me, Reed, what that do now? It's a plus.
I'm actually trying to find it.
Okay.
I don't.
Yes. Okay.
So
Did you find
everyone
it?
gets
Yeah.
+2 to their ACs.
Fuck
Their-
yes.
+2 bonus to their ACs. Yeah.
That's
To
cool
the
as
end
hell.
of your next turn.
That is cool as hell. Were there any other bennies? Right? Is there an action you can do or something? I might be misremembering.
No, it's that or you. What did I write? No, that's it. Because you get other stuff at higher levels.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
I think you can take like reactions to do stuff too.
Yeah.
No, not right now.
Okay.
Oh wait, excuse me.
Yeah.
When an ally in that area is hit by an attack or targeted by a spell, you can use your reaction to cause the attacker spell to target you instead.
Oh shit. Yeah. So
That's it.
that's cool as hell. So if somebody's about to get hit, be like, nope, me. Which is groovy. Okay, cool. So that is your turn. And then we go now back to the top of the round. And the room is going to start filling with water. You probably didn't notice it in the heat of everything that's happened in the last 6 seconds. But wherever this creature seems to step, you see a pool of that same black water kind of is at her feet. It seems to seep from her. And now all of you are starting to feel at maybe like ankle height if you all are wearing boots, or now finally, past your hooves, Aoife, like you get that uncomfortable feeling as some of that fur around your hoof starts to get wet, and you realize that there's about 8 inches or so of this black water that has now been slowly filling up this room here. And so the water is going to rise. Whoop. Oh no, phone alarm. So the water is going to rise a foot during her turn, which means that all of you, this whole area is now difficult terrain, so you have a half movement. Also, whenever you move, there's something might happen.
Good.
And that is what I will leave it at. Because you can no longer see, like, the water is gross. It's like gross swamp water. So you can't see now your feet or what is perhaps on the floor. So that is just a fun lair action. And then Aoife, we now come back to you.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Looking at this horrid creature that is attacking dear Tony, getting sliced at by Lou, she is going to concentrate her ire, and she would stomp her little hoof onto the ground, but it's now dampened by the sloshing water. So instead she just claps her hands in front of it, amidst this loud thunderous wave.
Cool.
As she casts a thunder wave. And so I need her to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, all right.
DC 15.
Ooh, I got a natural 20 on that. Sorry, which is bad for y'all because her Constitution is actually garbage, but lucky for me. So she does. She gets a 20 on that. So it takes half.
So she will save.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she'll take half damage.
Cool.
And so that is 15 half to 7.
Oof, okay. And she's not pushed on a save, or she's pushed a little bit on a save.
Correct.
Okay.
She's not pushed.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you see the thunder like travels out from you, and she is like getting punched by that invisible wall of like thunder damage, and makes a gross, wet, smacking sound, and looks at you with her big old blue eyes. Anything else for you?
Delightful. And for her bonus action, she'll give Lou a bardic inspiration.
Neat.
Da, da, da.
And that's me.
All right. So let's see. What do we want to do here? All right. Tony got out of my hair. Girl's out of my hair. But I'm going to have advantage on this next move, as you cannot see the tendrils of hair that are moving underneath the water. But boy, are they there, and they are certainly trying to grab you, Lou.
Don't like that.
Here we go. All right. Okay, that's going to be an 18. I can't remember. Yep. I see. 18 will get you. All right, so you
15.
So you feel, and it's probably not until too late, like something slithering up your leg, almost like a snake, as you see like one of these like long strands of black hair that was hanging down from her seems to be moving underneath the water and is crawling up as it goes and just like tightens around your chest. So here we go. Oh shit, I didn't realize. Oh, I don't think I did the damage to you last time from this. Wow, 2d10. Okay. Here. 19 plus 3 is 22 slashing damage. As this is like crawling up your body and like constricting. And again, it's like that feeling of steel wire or something. It is sharp as it is pressing into you and wrapping you in its grasp.
Yikes.
All right. And she is not fucking around. So for her next attack here, she leans over, and again with that lightning speed, Lou, now that you're like in her grasp and like right up in her face like looms and comes out to you, and like she just grabs you on either side of the face and like kisses you deeply, and like you feel the cold, just like it's like kissing a wet fish. Like this woman has been, you know, drowned, and like but you can't pull away as you feel your breath starting to be like pulled out of your body, and like you fight and struggle against it, but like some irrational part of your brain is like freaking out as this is happening to you, and you feel your strength being drained away from you. Please make me a charisma saving throw.
Oh no.
Spend that D8.
I'm gonna. Oh wait, that's it. No,
you'll get temp HP.
That's true. Okay. So that's going to be an 18. I got 16. Yeah, 18.
All right. Did you spend your inspo or no?
I did.
Okay. How many? How many temp HP do she get?
So the amount that is rolled on the Bardic Inspiration die plus my charisma, which is 4.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Well, I only rolled a 1 on the die, so thank you for that 5.
Thank you. So 5. Hey, that's nothing to spit at. And you, what is it? What is it in you that manages to like resist? Because if you had failed, like literally your strength ability score would have been decreased, like actually drained away from you. So how do you resist this? How do you fight this?
I think she's just overall immensely horrified because she over the past couple of days she's been thinking about smooching.
Mm-hmm.
This was not the smooch that she wanted or consented to.
Nope.
So I think she's just like, no, this is not fucking happening right now.
No. I've been waiting for this for a long time, and this is not it. This is not. I do not accept this.
No.
This will not be my re-entry back into the dating pool. No, sirree. All right. So, and this thing
pool.
I will not settle.
Take away your inspiration. So, and after what seems like an eternity, this thing finally like lets go of your face, and it looks at you, and you can see its like eyebrows knit down in frustration as it looks at you, and you don't seem to be affected by it, and it kind of throws your face away. So you're still like caught in its hair, but it seems done with you. It's frustrated by that.
She just like wipes her mouth. She's like, "Fuck, that was like week old sashimi." Ugh.
Gross, so gross. I'm sorry, Nassim. This is like the. Please don't vomit. Okay, then we're gonna move to Lou. You get to react to this. Other than that hot, spicy taste.
I would like to stab a bitch.
Fair.
All right. She's gonna immediately go in and try to give her a slashy here. That's not gonna do it because that is a 9. And then she's going to just completely whiff if she's still like spitting,
you're like, ew, no,
and come back around as a bonus action, and she's going to trigger her blade, her sonic blade,
cool.
As she presses a button just on the edge of her sleeve, and suddenly like this very high-pitched, almost inaudible noise starts going around the cabin, and she'll go back in to slash again.
All right, with advantage.
Thank God. Okay. That's gonna be, I got a 1 the first one.
Well, advantage because of the blade, right? Because she hasn't been struck by it before.
Yeah. And so that is going to be a 19 to hit.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah, 12.
Nobody expects Sonic Blade.
Well, now they will. Let's see. 6, 4, 10 plus 5, 15 plus 1, 16 points of thunder damage.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Damn. Ow. Yeah. So you again hit this creature with thunder, and after being smacked by Aoife's thunder like stomp move too, this thing is starting to look very haggard. You can see it's even more like twisted, and its back is kind of hunched over. It's almost like you've been punching a corpse that's slowly breaking down as you are hitting it blow for blow. So you are certainly making progress. You're not sure how much longer this thing has. Anything else for you, Lou?
Nah, that's it.
All right, then Tony, it's your turn as you like land from your backflip on the ground.
I feel like since it's starting to show signs of weakness, maybe we can start to try and reason with it a little. And before making any moves, we'll try like a bit of, I don't know, animal handling, I guess.
No,
Yeah.
That wouldn't be
Intimidation?
I would say persuasion or intimidation would be
Persuasion?
more relevant.
Yeah, I am not persuasive, so we're gonna scare it.
Do what I say.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you saying to it? How are you intimidating it?
With my sword pointed and ready, and having just beautifully landed my sidewall backflip turn thing, I'll say, Mare, we have you surrounded. You are not leaving this place. Tell us what you want, or we'll be forced to do even greater damage.
Go ahead and make your roll.
Ooh, I'm gonna use that inspiration to reroll that. I mean, what is that? 17?
17. Okay, that's pretty damn good. So this thing, it despite the fact that it's looking right now at Lou, right, it just like kissed her. You hear like a horrible like crack, crack, crack as like the bones kind of rearrange in her neck, and she like is able to look back over her shoulder at you, turning her head almost 180 around, and staring at you with those eyes, and her head hangs slightly to the side. And she lets out a hiss, and for the first time speaks a word as she is looking at you. She is speaking in Sylvan as this is happening, and says, "They must be punished. They killed me. They killed me."
Your death was an accident, and no one is to blame for the horrible tragedy that you had to face. And he is sorry.
Men are liars. He must have told you that lie as well. I will not stop until they all suffer. She still hasn't attacked, though. Is there anything else you would like to say to her?
I mean, I believe her. I believe she's not going to stop. I think she just wants Lori dead, and I can't let that happen. But I also can't really kill her.
Yeah, she's still clearly maybe not weak enough to let go of Raina, because you haven't seen Raina reappear yet.
Okay. Well, I guess we have nothing left to talk about. And I'll take a swing.
I tried!
And that's, a 19 to hit.
Hell yeah. 19 is y'all's golden number tonight. Whew.
It's a good number. I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad about it.
And that is 12.
12. Okay, yeah.
Slashing magical.
Yeah,
damage.
that so you deal another like horrendous blow against this creature, and you can see, I mean, its chest is like in tatters from like these slashes and the bruises. Again, you're hearing the cracking of bones as it seems to have trouble maintaining this form. You can hit it again. You get a second attack.
Yes, I am.
It looks real cool, real good.
Oh, and that's gonna be fucking 23 to hit.
Oh my god, yeah, okay. Roll that damage.
Ooh, and that's 8. Another 12 damage.
Okay. Yeah, so you bring down your sword once again across this thing. And what is the swing that, like, breaks this creature?
I think going, like, up from below, kind of lodging Clyde into its ribs at an upward angle.
Yeah, yeah. And because the form is like kind of jagged and like weird at this point, yeah, you catch it right in the emaciated rib cage and drag it up and through. And there's a horrible scream. And you see it like pouring out of the distended jaw of this creature, just like water begins to pour. And this mist like seeps around. And once again, like it kind of consumes, explodes in the room. And you're like, ugh, like trying to get a view. And you hear like a splashing sound as a body drops to the ground, and standing, hovering above it once the mist recedes, is this creature again, but almost like a ghostly version. It doesn't seem quite material, the same woman standing over, and you see the body that has dropped in the ground. It now in the water, kind of half submerged, seems to be a very unconscious Raina.
I don't think I can still move, can't I?
Yeah, and we can be like out of initiative for this moment here. So essentially, like until she can't physically attack you until she is able to like reincorporate. So
right.
Really quickly, what are you all doing before this thing gets a chance to react?
Get Raina to the closet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the closet. Okay. And Lori, once you like fling open the closet doors, he's like in there, just like closed. His eyes are closed, and he's just trying not to hear everything he's been hearing.
Yeah. All right. Now we can try this again. You're not getting out of this place, and I'm not letting you harm someone I love. Tell us what you want. How can we put you to rest?
Yeah, and this thing, it's doing that thing again, like you saw when Raina was first bound, where it seems to like twist and like just it's so frustrated as it looks around, and it runs very quickly, and it's not really on legs, but it's like a ghost that's like throwing itself. It slams against the windows and against the doors, like trying to get out, but like it totally futile. And you see it bounces around a couple more times, letting out this horrible shrieking sound before it kind of throws itself like down on the water floor. It collapses and looks up at you. And even though most of it is like that ghostly, almost see-through kind of mist form, the blue of its eyes is still very real and very intense as it looks back up at you. And it says, "See me. See me. I must be seen."
Go, Lori. Tony's gonna go to the closet and ask him to come out.
Yeah, what are you doing to get him out? He doesn't seem to want to go. He's terrified.
He can talk from the closet.
No, Uncle Lori. I know you have some things you want to say about what you did and what you could have done. And I think you should say it to her.
I can't. It's not her. That thing, it's not. That isn't Mina. I can't.
I don't think Mina will be at rest until you do, even if it's not her. And neither will your son.
And he takes a few more deep breaths and puts a steadying hand out on your shoulder, and like
I've got my arm around him too, and I'm helping him walk up.
Yeah, and he steps down out of the closet and like sinks his feet into the black water below, and immediately as he like passes over the line, the protective line, the ghost of this thing, like almost like a cat, like raises its hackles like from all fours, staring at him. It says, You left me in the dark to float and be forgotten. And he looks and just looks at you again, Tony, and says, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I did see you, and I was a coward. I didn't tell anyone. I saw you there dead, and it broke my heart. But I didn't tell anyone. I'm so sorry. Mina, if you're in there, I am so sorry for everything. And the creature, again, continues to like kind of hiss and like writhe. And after he just keeps kind of repeating, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. She seems to stop. And she looks at you, Tony, and says, You smell of his blood. Tell me, mortal, do you believe him? Should I believe him?
I do believe him. He knows how much he has hurt you and hurt other people that he loves, including me. His own flesh and blood in this mistake. And I know he's going to carry that pain for the rest of his life. And that's, I think, a fit punishment.
And upon hearing that, she kind of uncrumples from the floor and like walks over towards him all hunched and strange, and she gets really, really close, and you can see he goes like rigid but doesn't move, and like continues to look at her as she kind of crawls up and like stares at him and takes like a deep sniff. You have suffered, haven't you? Well, I suppose you are sincere, if this one vouches for you. I have guarded Mina's soul for quite some time. I suppose now I can let it go. And Lori says, Please, she was a wonderful woman. Please, whatever it takes, if you take whatever you need, have me, whatever you need. If I have to die, that's fine. Just let her go. And the creature like crunches its neck again. This is sufficient. And she leans in and like kisses him again in that same way she did to you, Lou. And you can see, like, he starts to, like, look pale and, like, drawn as she continues to, like, hold on to him for a second. And, like, as he kind of collapses against her, she sort of, like, holds him as she does so, seeming to, like, recover some of her strength. And drops him onto the ground. And, once again, like, the image of her gets really, really hazy and misty, as you can see, like, her features kind of shift and morph and, like, start to change into something else. And you see a woman standing there who looks an awful lot like Raina. Different, older, still drenching wet, but, like, in kind of a cloak and, like, you know, climbing gear, like, you know, an outfit perhaps a young woman might wear to sneak out to see a lover in the dead of night. And with those same blue eyes, she kind of surveys you all. Thank you. Thank you for what you did.
I'm going to help lift Lori off the ground and make sure he's awake and conscious to see what's happening.
Yeah, and he looks, you know, he looks drawn and shitty, but, like, she left him alive. And he's, yeah, like, looking up, just in wonder. He says, Mina? And she looks down at him and kind of smiles. Not quite, but close enough. Thank you, my dear, for telling the truth. Before I go, you all have done me a great service. To repay the favor, I have 2 things to offer you. Make your choice. Either a treasure you greatly desire, or a warning that you must heed. Which do you choose? And she's looking at you, the party. You can all chat about it as people too, if you wish.
I'm going with a warning in my gut.
I feel like we know the shitty shit that's coming somewhat, kind of, with the warning, because we know that all this, like, Fae stuff has been happening since we gave the book to the Weird Sisters. But I don't really have a strong preference for either, I guess. I mean, I want them both, but we can have one.
Aoife will definitely default to Tony's judgment, since this case is close to Tony's heart.
I agree.
Well, I mean, mostly I don't have a treasure that I'm seeking. So if there's one that you have in mind, I would suggest you could pitch it at least. But if you don't, it doesn't seem like either of you seem to have something in mind. So that's why I think we should go with a warning. It could be useful with all the weird Fae shit that's still yet to come our way.
She seems, and I will tell you, she has a specific treasure in mind. So it wouldn't be like, I want this.
Oh, okay.
So she's either going to give you something that one of you greatly desires, or a warning of things to come.
Well, is it like a physical thing she's going to give us? Like an item?
I can say yes.
Okay. And I would
but she hasn't clarified what that is.
Okay. But warning's fine, I would suppose. Let's do warning.
Yeah. Please, we would like whatever warning you have to give us.
And she turns her head and looks straight at you, Lou, as she says the following. Something has risen from the ocean depths, a heart made to beat within a dead chest, and with no gods to hear her prayer, she remains lost, but now to despair. Only the power of the king unseen can free her from the witch's queen. And she nods to you all and leans down one more time and looks at Lori and kind of like touches like a ghostly hand to his cheek. And he closes his eyes. And she disappears. Evaporates. And is gone.
Tony's gonna sit down next to her uncle and just give him a really tight, long squeeze.
Yeah. And he's crying. And holds you. And the water also, as you saw before, like during that attack, just seems to like dry up, you know, like a sudden like invisible heat lamp is just, and the room is returned to just how it was, almost like nothing happened.
Eiffel will go to run and check on Raina.
Yeah, and Raina, who was definitely out cold for the last, you know, missed this final interaction, as you kind of shake her and look at her, she like opens her eyes. I was like she's waking up from a nap, like nothing happened. She's like, what's going on? How did I get over here? She seems fine.
And Eiffel will ask her, now, or we'll tell her, now you shouldn't ask questions that you don't want the answers to. But you are fine, and you are cured of your possession.
No more waking up in strange places with no more memory of what happened?
This should be the last time unless you've drunk too much.
All right, great. Then, if you don't mind, I will not ask any more of those questions. As long as you get me out of here. It's cold, and this has all been very weird.
I've got 2 friends outside who can take you back and make sure you get tucked into bed. Best you get a good sleep before the events of tomorrow.
Right, a wedding. Yeah. She looks at all of you. Thank you. I suppose.
Lou's just standing there, blank face for a second, and just turns heel and leaves the room.
Did I say something? Raina says, and like, oh.
Aoife shakes her head.
All right. So we all, you all can decide what you want to do with the rest of the night. You seem to have banished this creature, or it's gone, or helped it find peace. You know, bright and early tomorrow, a big ass festival is going to start, and you all have a wedding to go to. But I suppose in the meantime, you 3, what is the evening? Where are you going, Lou? After you storm out, let's start with you. Where is Lou going? What is Lou doing?
Lou just needs to leave the room for a second, and she kind of like goes around the edge of the cottage to like be just kind of out of sight for a second, and she takes out her notepad that she always has with her, and she just like starts writing down exactly what the mayor had said. And she's just like starts breathing really heavily and has to like slow down her breath for a second and close her eyes, and keeps reading it over and over, just realizing suddenly that she's crying.
Yep.
And clutching this notepad.
And the other 2 of you, I'm gonna go ahead and put that text again in the
please
Yay, thank you.
in the Zoom chat. So Lou storms out, and I think really quickly, you know, you can, Eva and Tony, you can hand off, you know, Raina to Cassie and Rook, who are like, you know, Rook asks a million questions immediately, and like it's fine, and Cassie's like, read the room, Rook, like it's cool, we'll get her, there we go, action, Rook, and like kind of, you know, makes Rook go off with her to corral her somewhere else. So Raina's fine. So Aoife and Tony, if you all want to deal with Lou, say anything, you might hear some, I don't know, ugly crying coming from the side of the cabin?
Yeah.
I don't think Tony spends the rest of the day with the other two. She'll probably just be with her family and have some nice family time.
Yeah, so you can escort, Lori back to, because your dad was there for the conversation and had some idea, so he's like on the shore immediately, wraps you both in blankets and like hugs and shoving food into your face and whatever it takes.
Yeah. Try and make Lori feel a little bit more normal again, because I know that's not going to happen, but just be around other people who do still love him.
Yeah. All right, and then Aoife, what are you up to?
I think seeing Tony go through this harrowing experience with her family after making sure that Raina gets safely up into bed, Aoife's gonna head back to the chicken hut that we parked, and a mile outside of the grounds of the house. And reminded of her own family, she is going to sit down and write a letter to her parents, because they wrote her a letter, and boy, did she get busy in the last month and a half or so.
Has it been a busy
didn't reply.
Goddamn month. Sure has. But luckily, if anyone will understand what it's like to have a busy, all-consuming career, it is your parents. So they never guilt you about it. Cool. Let's save the letter for the very end of the episode, but I know you have a letter to read there, so I'll save that in just a moment. So yeah, you go back to the hut, get settled, and write to your family. This has been a big day for a lot of that. Lou, where do you go after this? You look at what you've written. I'm assuming you have some assumptions about what this might be.
Yeah. I think that she kind of gathers herself in the time that she has, as everybody kind of picks up the rest of the pieces of everything that we've just been working on so hard. And she eventually makes her way back to the mainland, so to speak, I guess. And will just kind of sit herself on her bed in the tent. And she just starts writing, just trying to like break each part of what she'd heard into sections and try to analyze it and put connections back to like what she saw in her dream of Jada in her last moments of life, and is just like tapping her pen nervously on her notebook, going through any possible thing that she can think of and what connections she can reach out to try to get more information, because for the first time in 10 years, like, she has something. And that's the only thing that's taking up her mind right now.
Yeah. And luckily, Tony's off with her family, and, Aoife has gone back to write letters back in the hut. So you're all alone and left to your thoughts until they're interrupted sometime later, who knows how long, by like a knocking sound, that same like kind of cursory like slap knock that happens, and you see Cassie kind of sticks her head in the tent like, oh, hey, okay, so one of you is here. Hey, she like gets into the room and she seems like excited and like she's been running around and stuff, and she kind of takes one look, like clocks you, and she's like, how did it go?
Lou just wipes her eye and she's like, Raina's fine. She's everybody's safe. Of course, you come in. This is really awkward.
She kind of rushes over. She's like, hey, are you okay? And she like sits down next to you and is like, is there anything I can do?
Probably yes, but at the same time, it does not feel appropriate to ask you to help me in this regard.
But she's looking at you confused as hell.
Yeah. And she takes a deep breath and she's like, but I can't not. So this is, I want you to know before I say anything, like I'm not comfortable asking and telling you this right now, but the mayor, she gave us a gift in return for helping sort everything out. And she told us this rhyme poem. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that it's about my fiance and where she's been since I lost her. And I don't know, it's 10 years ago, and I don't know if it's even a thing anymore or whatever it is, but I know that she's a good person. And if she's been lost in some way, she deserves to be found. And you just have all this knowledge, and I don't know what I'm doing with the Fae and fucking riddles. I've never been artistically talented in this sort of puzzle, and I think you're so great, and you're the first person who's gotten me excited in a long time. And
she's gonna lean in. She puts two hands on either side of your face and like kisses you very, very gently, just to kind of interrupt that. And she'll like, very gently, not like forcing anything hard on you, and she like is really close to your face and puts a hand on the side and kind of like tucks some of your hair behind your ear. Hey, it's gonna be okay. We'll figure it out.
Okay. And she'll reach her arms out and just give her a tight hug.
Mm-hmm. And she does, and she embraces you and holds you close and is like kind of stroking your hair in a very like nice and calming way. Listen, it's what I do. I help people. And I realize this is all very complicated. Probably. But I don't know. I'm not really the type of person to, I guess, wait on something that could or could not happen or whatever. All we have is right now, and all we have is this scrap of information. We don't even know if this is really about what you think it is. And she leans back and takes your hands in hers and says, I think probably the best thing to do is just, I don't know, live for right now. And when we see what this means, we'll see what this means. And we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, okay?
Yeah. You're really special.
You're pretty damn special, too. That's why I keep following you around. You got a great butt. Just like really great. It's a great view. Yeah. And she laughs and, kind of hugs you again. I mean, I guess while we're talking about, future stuff, and I know it's not big or whatever, but I mean, I do have some like business that I need to wrap up, in Phelan, but like after that, I mean, if you want to come visit or if you need someone around or, I'd like to keep doing this, for however long we can do this.
I try to make it a point to give people what they want. And if this badonkadonk is something you're oh my god, I just said badonkadonk.
You did. You really just did say that. So romantic.
Oh.
Gotta say.
It was better than Wagon I'm Dragging. I don't fucking know. But thank you. And she'll lean back in and give her another soft kiss and be like, and thank you for taking things at a pace that feels good.
Of course. I mean, if you do need anything else, I have nowhere to go tonight. And I mean, my bed is very far on the other side, and nobody else seems to be here. Just, you know, if that's whatever level of comfort you require, I am here. I am your willing servant.
I think I could use a cuddle.
Yeah. And she'll curl up with you. And more if you want or not. She's clearly the option is there for you.
Yeah. I think Lou is good with just a cuddle for right now.
Then she'll be big spoon. And hold you through the night. Yeah. And then we come to the next day. So you all spend your time doing what you gotta do. Hanging out with family, writing letters, thinking about past relationships, previous ones, the ones that are dead and buried, the ones that recently were buried, and the ones that are still to come. The ones that won't stay buried. As the dawn finally comes, and the weather, that freak weather storm, has cleared up, and immediately, like, I think all of you are woken up, regardless of where you are, by the sounds of merriment, as now the festival is set up, so Oxia is in full swing, and just as promised, like, hundreds of people from the capital have come. Obviously a ton of Eldrin, but, like, most of these people are from Phelan, so it's a very metropolis city, so people of all different, races, species, genders, types, kids, adults, families, come to enjoy this, like, it's basically like a giant county fair sort of feeling, and it's all like open air, food stands and music everywhere you turn, and just like gorgeous displays, events throughout the day. Again, those like the ponies that were walking around with the gilded like saddles. There's a big like animal zoo. There's a pony parade at one point. There's all kinds of cool stuff and games that people are playing. Lots of fried food.
Pony definitely kind of loses it at the pony parade.
Oh yeah, it's so fucking cute. Like, your family doesn't breed miniature horses, but like you have seen them, and Phelan, that is an Eldrin invention that you adore. Yes, and they're so proud. The proud little ponies, like, oh my god, you lose it, you lose your shit, and so does honestly Geo as well. Keeps asking to go. You have to go to both the morning show and the afternoon show because Geo just really wants to go.
I'm so down.
Yeah, and you can tell too, your uncle, your dad has like made it his mission to basically like stay by his brother's side throughout the day, and it's like doing that stupid thing he does where it's like wearing you down right over the course of the day with like outrageous jokes and getting food and making him play games and forcing him outside and whatever, and you even see him crack a smile at least once during the day. And so you all can enjoy it, and it's nice. It's a nice change of pace. I don't think any of you have ever really been to one of these like gigantic kind of festivals. I mean, probably in Shasiana they have sort of similar events, but this is a uniquely Phelan tradition for sure. Mm-hmm. And so the day passes, and it's wonderful. Everyone seems to be having a good time. And then as the sun eventually begins to set, people seem to start gathering, assembling, like right in front of Lily Hall, which is like where they've constructed the largest bonfire of all. Because again, Oxia is celebrating the heat of summer, so there's lots of fire and torches and cool, fireworks, lightning, like all this kind of cool shit. So everybody assembles around this big bonfire, and you can see like this big constructed platform, wreathed in beautiful garlands that's been set outside as people are being pulled together for this wedding that is about to happen. Are you all going to see the wedding?
Yeah, I want to see my cousin get married.
Oh yeah. You
Hell
did
yeah,
it. You made it
there's
happen.
an open bar.
Oh, hell yeah, there's an open bar. And I mean, so clearly, like, you don't interact with most of the family, certainly not the bride or groom, or, you know, the Olyanas have been just, like, deep in preparations all day, right? Like, waiting for the wedding. But everywhere you go, you eat for free, you drink for free. People are, like, they are clearly taking care of you. This is their sign of thanks. As you are... So
was there also a bounty though? As it
yes.
was a...
Yes, you will also be handsomely paid. So on top of all of that, you will get a 5,000 gold piece reward for doing this.
Oh my god. Party gold.
Let's talk about gold plates again here.
So
chest plates again.
Yes, and this I think Rook probably brings it to you at some point, like during the day. She'll find you all, and she's got like this sack of fucking coins, and she's going, she's like holding it and walks up to you all and kind of jingles it as she approaches. This family's loaded, she says, and like holds this fat sack. You can hear the coins on the far side of it.
Get it, Enzo.
Yeah, seriously, marry into money. So yes, you all have that gorgeous reward. And have any of you seen an Eldrin wedding before?
Oh, heavens no.
No, yeah.
He was just like read about them in the newspaper and like makes little clippings because they always have like pictures of what the bride and groom are wearing.
Fucking gorgeous all the time. Yes.
I think that Lou's never seen one, but she knows about them because when she was prepping for her wedding, she was like looking at every single thing. Like, we're gonna make it our own. Like,
yeah, we'll take all the different, whatever. Yes, and so for Oxia, things are a little bit different because this is one of the most popular holidays in which to get married. It's considered like really good luck for a new couple to start on this day. Mostly because in the Eldrin mythology, this is the time when, again, the mother and the father, who are the two like progenitor gods of the Eldrin, kind of trade places. So it's like a handoff. It's a sharing of duties. So it's a day very much about partnership and like working together, and that kind of people coming together to make the world, the universe work, right? In the Eldrin mythology. So the festival, these weddings are always held outside, in front of one of these gorgeous bonfires, as you can see here. And when people start to assemble, you can get like a nice space towards the front, standing on one side where like the Silvertail, family kind of is. And so there's this gorgeous platform up looking down on the fire, and you see the bride's family on one side, so the Olyanas. So you recognize Wilhelm and Ariadne over there. And then on the far side, you have your uncle, Lori, standing there. And when everybody is like settled, and then the whispering kind of like dims down, some gorgeous music starts to play from somewhere, as you see, like a 4-piece band or whatever playing something with strings. And coming out of the main house, you see the couple. And they are dressed in the traditional wedding colors of the Eldrin. So the bride wears gold, which is like the mother's primary color, and then the groom wears silver. So the two of them are stepping down together out of the house, hand in hand, and then they kind of split to either side of the stage and go and stand with their respective families, but not on the platform. And then you see two individuals, two priests, come out. An Eldrin priest that represents the mother, and the Eldrin priest that represents the father. And they have these like gorgeous, almost like geometric masks that they wear like over their face as they assume these kind of roles and step up. And the priestess dressed as the mother is wearing like gorgeous robes of red and gold, and the father is wearing blue and silver. And they come up and they meet on the stage. And the mother speaks out to the crowd and says, "Welcome, everyone. It is always a glorious day when our children find someone with which they can share their lives. For all things are made better by love, by community, and by partnerships. Even we," and the mother, priestess, in the role of the mother, reaches her hand out to the father, and they clasp both hands together. For even gods have much to do, and a very short time in which to do it. And sharing our burdens, sharing our joys, makes all things easier. And then the father begins to speak. These two have come together and are bonding not only with each other, but their families, unifying. And we are pleased and privileged to share their love with everyone here today. And reaches out his hand and everyone's like, yay, you know, clapping as they are addressing the crowd here. And both these priests kind of separate and bring up their respective, the bride and groom, who you can see Enzo and Raina are just beaming at one another. And Enzo, for the first time in what looks like weeks, probably got a good night of sleep. So he's back to that, you know, that handsome-faced kid, basically, that you've always, you know, been familiar with, Tony. And as they're like standing across from each other with these two priests on either side, the mother begins to speak once again. The families have decided to create their own of the traditional gifts. So please, come forward. The Olyanas, what do you offer your daughter? And they step up, and Wilhelm kind of like very proudly comes up, and you see he takes something from a servant, and it's a sword that he has, and he like unsheathes it and puts it like on this nice pillow, and the sword is just absolutely gorgeous, the best money can buy, seemingly like made of just steel and like gem crusted, like just a goddamn beautiful piece of weaponry, and walks up and hands it off to Raina, who takes it. And she looks, you know, just kind of tear in her eye, and like her dad is just like, you know, it's all very, very happy and teary. And she takes the sword and kind of holds it out, and Enzo will actually kneel in front of her, and she taps both sides of his shoulders, almost like in a knighting gesture, as she says, and this seems to be like a rehearsed thing that maybe all Eldrins say, with this weapon of force, I promise to be the spark that instigates and drives all we do together. I promise to be the source of inspiration and strength to you in times that are bad and times that are good. And together, I promise that you can trust your heart to me, and I will always make it safe for you to create, to endure, to feel, and to fight. This I promise to you, my love. And he like stands up, and then your uncle is going to come up to him and gives it's like a scroll, and it's one of these like illuminated manuscript style with like the gorgeous, you know, hand carved wood and like beautiful paper that you can see just like all the different inks and like gilding on it, as he walks up and hands it off to Enzo, who smiles, and they do like the, you know, the push each other's shoulder, like man emotions, and hands it off, and Enzo will look over and kind of bows to Raina and opens the scroll, showing it so she could read it. And he says, I promise to approach our relationship with reason. Reason will temper all we do and inform all we can do together. I promise that while you are the spark, I will help guide our course. I promise to approach our relationship with knowledge and wisdom, and I will ensure that you can always trust your head, and we can use it together to consider, to plan, to judge, and to seek. This I swear to you, my love. And they exchange gifts, and then kind of stand up and kiss one another, and the two priests like clap, and you know, they have a few other words. At this point, everybody just fucking erupts into like, yeah, cheering. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! And there are fireworks that start going off, because this obviously was happening at sunset, so it's fucking gorgeous. And then somebody's like, let's bring out the wine. And then there are giant barrels that are uncorked and champagne starts to flow. And just the couple just like so fucking in love with one another. And it's so nice. Even Lori looks happy, and your dad is ecstatic that everyone's ecstatic, and you have a fucking wonderful, wonderful time.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. What's like a fun, just real quick as we're wrapping up, what's a fun thing you make sure to do at the wedding? This giant freaking party.
Oh, I get my family together and I pull Lou and Aoife into this like circular dance that like we do back home in our tribe around like the wine specifically.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, the celebration of wine dance. Yes.
Amazing.
And Enzo is there, and like he Raina obviously is trying her best, but Enzo is like, come on, like dad, mom, pulls in, Wilhelm and Ariadne are like trying to do the dance as well, like get in on this like family circle. Since you all are family now, bonded together. So it's a hot mess, but it's a fun hot mess. Aoife, what's one thing you're sure to do during this wedding?
Oh man. Oh Lord. She goes around and she asks for each of the women that she sees at the party whose dresses or anything of outfits she adores, she's like, who designed that for you? She just like she gets all the deets.
Oh man, and they will fucking
I love
tell
what you're
you.
Wearing.
Yeah, because they're also from Phelan, which is like high fashion capital of the empire. So they're like, oh, I had this dress commissioned from my personal seamstress who works for so and so. Like they will, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see also some other people, because also even like the gentlemen as well, like all Eldrin are like so into their fashion, so all these nobles like kind of swarm and start like catty fighting with each other too, being like, well, I had my dress designed by
yeah,
me.
she
my
gets
suit was designed by me. Yeah.
Gets the hot goss on the high fashion scene.
Oh yeah. And then Lou, what is one thing you make sure to do, other than definitely dancing with Cassie, because she's gonna make that happen for sure.
Oh yeah, lots of dancing with Cassie. She's actually a decent dancer because she's dexterous, so she picks up on things quick. But after the whole wine dance, she is more drunk than you have ever seen her.
There's a lot of drinking involved in the wine dance. I do love that. Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, naturally.
And she's just over by like the expansive dessert table, and she picks up a cannoli and is just snort laughing so loud, like uncontrollably drunk laughing. She's like falling over.
Because like, do you get it
every
yet?
time people are like, and she's like, as like it's like hot, so like the cream's just kind of like spilling up. She's like, I get it. I get it.
Amazing. So with just a lovely night, you have officially completed this mission of yours. So you have laid a spirit to rest. You have helped two kids find love. And as the next day rolls on with a little bit of a hangover, you all Tony, you can say your farewells to your family, since Raina is going to be traveling back now with your family. So your dad has agreed to like help escort and get her settled a little bit in her new life before she has to dive in fully. So there's lots of fun farewells, and your dad takes some time especially to say like thank you, and like thank you just for looking out for the family, and I'm so glad that this is all okay, and you have become so, I mean, I always knew you would be, but so very impressive. My daughter, my fighter.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, Dad.
Your mother would be so proud of you. She's going to be so proud of you.
Well, tell her I miss her, and she should have come, but I'm glad you guys were here.
Yeah.
It was a weird and scary, but a good surprise.
I'm just really glad that in the end it all it all turned out okay. And it wouldn't have if it wasn't for you and your friends. I don't know what we would have done. It's good to know, perhaps even selfishly, that there are people like you out there. It makes me really proud.
All right, Dad, you got to stop. My friends are here.
Okay. Yes, of course. You and Lou.
I'm your daughter, you know. Yeah. I get it from you and all of that. I get it from you and Mom, you know.
He'll come over and pick you up, Lou. He picks you up, like, all of you, and you're like that spine-cracking bear hug. He's like, thank you for taking such good care of my daughter. You have to come visit. And like, shakes you a little bit.
I'll come visit. It's my pleasure. Holy crap, I didn't realize my back had that crick in it. Thank you. And then put me down.
Oh, he's like, right. And he does. He puts you down and goes over. And Aoife, thank you for everything you've done. And like claps your hands in his, but like has basically your whole arm, like in his giant hands. As he's like kind of shaking your hands up and down.
I know. Her tiny, tiny little hand is just completely enraptured.
Like, it's like the size of his like pointer finger. Yeah. And he's like, thank you for taking care of my daughter. Thank you. And you, wait, come back, he yells as Rook is like running away back towards the hut, like wants no part of being picked up or nothing. He's like, well, I tell her thank you as well. Shy one, right? All right.
Yeah.
True to that.
Well,
she's a lot worse than I am, so just think about that.
Oh, I see. Well, till next time, kid. I love you. I love you so much.
I love you too, Papa. I'm just gonna squeeze the hell out of him and Gio.
Gio lets out a but like it doesn't matter because you two are so fierce with the Gio sandwich. And so the goodbyes are made and everybody rolls off and people are starting to break down the Oxia festival, and that's where we're gonna end our episode proper for today. The action at least, but we do have that letter that we're going to read as you all make your way back to the hut for whatever adventure comes next. And Aoife, why don't you go ahead and read us this letter that you have written.
Ah, yes, and we get to level up.
Hell yeah, we do! I remembered I was gonna say it though, but okay. Yes, we are gonna level! So after this, yes, that was the official announcement. Congratulations, you have successfully done your first full ass bounty going into the mortal realm, taking down a fae. It went great. You all did great. You investigated, you learned a lot. It was all wonderful.
We did it.
You done did it. Have a level. Good job.
Go team.
Hell yeah.
Dude, we get some sexy things. I can't wait to talk about them. But
yeah.
Yes. So as Aoife had departed from her two friends as the evening was closing back to the chicken hut, and she recalled the letter that she had received from her dad, who is definitely the parent that she's definitely more kind of connected to. I think she takes after her dad in a lot of ways. And so she recalls this letter that she received to him, a letter that had said that he and her mom were in Ashtar for where the Checkered Follies had taken them next, doing work there. And she had really wanted to go, but that was just after the whole debacle with Whistler, and so she felt like she couldn't, and she was even afraid to write a letter back because for fear it might be intercepted or read or anything. And so, but having seen, Tony go through this with her family, she just couldn't hold it back anymore, and so sat down to write a letter to her parents that reads, "Dear Ma and Da, I got your letter saying that you were in Ashtar. I'm sorry I haven't written back. It's been a real whirlwind this past month. I've made some great friends while doing some work in one of the military camps by the Feywalk jungle, and we've been traveling together ever since. While we were in the military camp, we helped a friend who had been captured by some fae and began turning into a plant zombie-like creature. Afterwards, we were interrogated by this Carillion whistler, who insisted we were to go to the Carillion Order with him for additional questioning. He threatened my life, and so my friends and I abandoned the camp for the wilds. We were worried he might be after us, maybe even have a bounty out on us. But we've recently heard that the Carillions are off the map. What do you know about the Carillions or the situation in Ashtar? I know that's where you said you last were. I would have come to visit you soon after I heard you were there, but we were worried that we would be caught by that awful jerkface. With all that, you're probably worried sick about me, but please don't worry. I've got 2 incredibly strong and capable and badass friends, and we all look out for one another. I've gotten much better at my healing magic, and I've even gotten a post at a dress shop in a fae city called Coven. I've been enjoying my time in the wilds, and it's brought me so much inspiration, though I still haven't met another satyr, though. I'm debuting 5 pieces at the Chasiana Student Showcase, and I would absolutely love for the entire family to be there, to be all together for the first time in a while. All my pieces are inspired by my friends and by what I've seen and experienced on my very first adventure. I miss you both so dearly, and I hope we can meet up soon. I know you'd absolutely love my friends. Lou is very much like you, Ma, and Tony and Da will get along famously. Maybe if you both come to Coven, you can even meet my new boyfriend, Kel. Don't worry, Da, it's not serious. All the love in the world, Aoife. And attached is a flyer for the Chasiana Student Showcase and a sketch of Aoife, Lou, and Tony that she has made.
Oh, amazing. Very cool.
Cute.
And because magic, you are actually going to get a letter back here. So, the letter you get back is odd. It's it seems like very flat, like almost greeting card, sort of like, "Dear Aoife, it is so good to hear you are well. Your mother and I are doing well." Blah, blah, blah. A little bit strange. And as you're reading it, something weird kind of catches your eye. It's like a PS, like, "I've been working on something. What do you think?" And like it's a little bar of music, like with notes on it.
Interesting.
It flags you as weird. Is this something Aoife from her dad? What is Aoife's impression here?
So I think knowing that her dad is, this is a very well-known composer and loves composing music, and he taught her to play a bunch of instruments, though she didn't really like playing. But I think seeing those like a few bars of notes would definitely clue her into something for sure.
Yeah, and so yeah, you're looking at that and you're like, okay, and you know music notes, like, okay, that's a C note, that's a G note, whatever, as you're like going and looking through. And then as you see on the paper too, you see these odd little dots, like in some places, almost like just to the eye, like you didn't notice them at first, but like, yeah, just like weird like ink splotches. And kind of when you like realize if you were to put the paper together, you see another bar of these notes on it.
Oh yeah. She's like fastidiously folding these like sharp corners to align these certain things.
Mm-hmm. So you realize your father has written this letter to you in code, like using the notes, and like as you translate the notes to letters, a very sort of disturbing message is laid out for you. It reads, "Glad to hear you are safe. We have heard strange things about the Carillions. Chess is currently searching for an old friend, a Carillion by the name of Saye Noor, who was one of several Carillions kidnapped by Fae when portals appeared. Can't share more. Meet us soon in Phelan." And then you see there's like a clipping that's been included with your showcase, right? Like he sent it back to you. So it's safe to assume maybe your parents will be there and meet you there. And that is the episode, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to episode 31. My goodness.
My whole body just like turned to stone when you said that. I was like, Saya, is she okay? Oh no.
Kidnapped by the Fae, pulled into a portal.
She's fine. Fuck. She's a fucking badass. She'll be okay. She'll save us.
Care of herself.
Chess is looking for you, which means Fair is probably looking for, Saye. So, that's, fine.
Yeah.
You got a demigod on it. You're fine. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. This was super fun. I'm so glad everything turned out well.
Me
other
too.
than some future nonsense, but that's a problem for a future party. How you all doing? How you all feeling? We just, that was our first kind of, contained bounty hunter arc, so we're probably going to be doing several more, adventures in a sequence like this, where, there's a fae, right, and you get down to the bottom of it, the mystery, solve it, solve the junk. I promise the next one won't be as sad as the last two. So I've been in a family drama place, I realize. I may have to start watching more comedy television. I see, yes.
Watch Only Murders in the Building for some comedy mystery inspiration.
Comedy murders. Amazing.
That's a good show.
It's a good show.
Yeah, how are you all feeling? Did you feel like you earned that level? I think you did. We good?
Yeah. I'll take another.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
After our romp in the wilds with Penny Dreadful, and then after this definitely feels like a level well earned.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Will we get to know what the treasure would have been had we asked for it?
It would have been a very special magical ingredient that might have popped off Lou's heroic destiny. That's okay. There will be other opportunities.
That's okay. I just cried instead.
That's okay. It was a pretty good warning to have.
Yeah.
Just something to watch out for.
And we got some big intrigue coming up. I'm so hyped.
Also, what's up with the Corellans? Weird. Weird.
I need to know.
Where did these portals come from? When did this happen? Was it the same time you gave the book away? I don't know.
I was really so looking forward to talking to Cassie more about the Corellans, and then that happened. Now I'm like, oh. All right, you girl.
Yeah, that was a whole thing that never got discussed. We got a lot of stuff to do next time, so it'll be really good. It'll be really good. But yeah, like I said, thank you all for joining us. Before we let you go, we have some news. I did my news. Everybody levels up. I made a note. Thank you for reminding me. But Nasim, you also had some things you wanted to say, and then we'll thank our donors and sign off. Nasim.
Yes, indeed. Every week while there's still a revolution happening in Iran, I'm going to talk about it because you should still be hearing about it. And we should still be amplifying Iranian voices as much as we can, because so many things since the last time I brought this up have been spouted onto the internet that aren't true, and it really diverts attention to what the people in Iran are saying. So let's focus on them. And you can continue to reach out to your representatives. If you've done so already, share the link. Tell your other friends to reach out to their representatives. The website in chat right now, it's nufdi, nufdi.org. Has a written script for both parties. You'll find your representatives there. Copy and paste. Send it to your reps, please, and thank you. Some good news is, in my own personal life, is that I was just a guest on the Dungeon Run's latest episode. If you want to go check that out, the VOD is now on their YouTube channel at the Dungeon Run, with some other really great, talented performers and RPG players. And I'm so excited every time they invite me back. I have such a great time. It was wild and a horny group to play with. So it's, if you like what you see here, you're gonna like what you see there. It's a good place to be. Go check that out. And lastly, I did some voiceover work for officially the first time with Need for Speed's new game Unbound, and it's out, it's released, and I'm in a video game, and I think that's cool and sick and dope, and I can't fucking wait to play it. So yeah, play it. See if you can find me. I'm really curious if you can.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's all. Thank you. Thank you for letting me brag about myself a little bit.
Yeah, and for those of you
Always.
listening as well, those links mentioned are going to be in the podcast notes as well. So if you look at the episode inside your app of choice, you will see links right there in the show notes. Very cool. Before we officially go, we always like to take some time to say a huge thank you to the people who donate to us monthly on Patreon. It is our number one, pretty much only source of income. So your monthly donations are so helpful. They pay the cast. They pay beautiful people like Sage who are editing and doing fantastic fucking stuff. They allow us to make books and keep this stream running for now almost 6 years. We could not do it without you. So God damn it. Thank you. And if you want to be one of these heroes, if you value our time, artists, if you've gotten at least an hour of enjoyment out of this, we really encourage you to go and consider donating on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can support us and make our dreams come true and get a ton of cool fucking shit as rewards. Damn, everybody wins. So thank you. So let's take some time, go around now and say thank you to our highest donor tiers. So starting with the Artie's cohorts tier, thank you so much, Debbie.
Thank you, Curry.
Thank you, Muffin, at the one on Drury Lane on Twitter.
Thank you, Nissa McKinnon.
And for our fairest drinking mates, thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you, Markali.
Thank you, Fable.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you so much, Sheepish Gnome.
And thank you, Ben, aka Flower Crown Gaming, our Wiki King.
Wiki King, wonderful
The
lad.
Wiki King.
Thank you, the Wiking. Yes, the unseen king. It was Ben all along.
Ben, what are you telling me?
Ben, seek him, Lou. So thank you all so much. We'll catch you again in 2 weeks. Until next time, everybody. Oh no, shit! Outros. Hi, yes, I did it. I remembered it. Fuck! Hi! Thank you for being here. I've been your dungeon master, Celeste Conowitch. I'm so on top of it. Fuck yeah.
Hello, I'm Katie, and I played the very Sathir Drow rogue.
Fuck.
Hello and goodbye. I'm Nassima Tamad. I played your half-orc fighter, Fitonia Silvertail.
You say goodbye. I say hello. I'm
Hello.
Sage, and I.
Damn it, you guys. It's a mess.
And I am Aoife Flannery, your beguiling bard.
Okay, we did it, right? Well, that's all the things. So, finally, for real this time, thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time, and until then, venture away! Venture away! Oh my god, bye-bye, everybody! Bye-bye.